Good afternoon. My name is Diamond. This is Tanasia, and that's Kayla. And they agreed to be a part of my group discussion today. And
Come on.
this afternoon, we'll be addressing communication strategies that can strengthen family relationships. The main thing with communication is having a bond with a person or the people in your family. Some things that affect the bond, like make it stronger, are things like family rituals, which include game night, movie night, or dinner at table. Anything repeatedly going on with everybody around is considered a family ritual. So with me, our family rituals are, well, once a year, every year, we go on vacation. We go to, we find a beach house and we all go there. It'll be like my immediate family, also like my mama and papa, aunts and uncles, and my cousins and stuff. We all go down for a week, and that's one of the things. We also do like the traditional dinners at Christmas, Thanksgiving, and stuff like that. Do you have any family rituals that are different?
Um, I have not really family rituals. Like every Christmas, I guess you can say we go to my grandmother's house. And Thanksgiving, she got like this special dinner table set up and all of that. It's always at 5. Never changes. Time never changes.
So how would you say that the family dinners affect your family communication and bonds?
I guess it's like as even though we don't talk to each other like during the year, but we know like on that holiday we all get together and just talk about how much we've grown, what we've done. Like it's like everybody's come back together. It's kind of like a reunion, I guess, but everybody's just come back together, just telling what's going on.
Okay, so what about you? Do you have like family rituals?
Yeah, I actually do. My immediate family will meet up like once a week, and we'll have check-in chats. It's basically like when you report like what you've done so far for the week that was productive. Things that like situations that you were in that might have upset you, or something like that. Just to discuss different events and emotions that you went through, so that we have like a better understanding of each other and the type of life we live on a day-to-day basis when we're not at home.
Yeah. I feel like family rituals are a way for, like how you said, even though we don't talk throughout the year, like I don't talk to any of my cousins at all throughout the year. I talk to my one cousin every Sunday at church, and that's it. And then everybody else I don't speak to. But then when we go on our like trips, it's like everybody's still close. Like we still have that connection to still be able to like laugh and joke around and do things, even though we don't communicate throughout the year. I also feel like compassion is also another way to benefit communication between family relationships. I feel like when you show compassion, it strengthens the relationship by allowing people to be comfortable with you when talking to you, and also letting them know that you understand how they feel at that moment. Rather they're sad or happy, just matching how that person feels makes them comfortable and willing to talk to you. Do you have any like comments on that?
No.
Do you feel when someone shows you compassion? Do you feel how does that make you feel connection wise?
Like, what do you mean, like compassion? Give me an example.
Okay, so when a person's showing compassion, in my eyes, I feel like if you were to go through something and talk to me about it, I would basically sympathize with you and show you that I understand how hard it may be or how sad you are, but still like push you through that, basically.
So, like, are you asking a moment that I've been through it?
Or you don't have to tell a personal moment, but really how you feel. Like, how does that make you feel?
I feel like when I do something for someone that needs, like say, for example, giving, like, money to a homeless person or food to a homeless person, it makes me feel like, dang, like, even though I don't got much, I know they really don't have nothing. And me doing this, it makes me feel like a lot better as a person just because there's hundreds of people walking by them every day saying you're just a scam and all of that when sometimes it's really true.
Sacrificing something for yourself to, give to someone who doesn't have it. Yeah.
Okay, that was a little off track. I'm actually talking about compassion shown between family, like relationships that you would have with somebody. Like
Okay,
a like if you were to express to your brother anything, like, not necessarily saying you go to him for
I get
stuff,
it.
but if you were to go to your little brother or your sister and just talk to your if you and your older sister that were to have a conversation and she shows you some compassion or sympathy towards your
Okay, it
situation.
makes me feel like I'm loved, like somebody is actually there for me.
What I'm
Like
going through is
even though
important.
I feel like I have nobody, it's always your family is somebody that most of the time never turns their back on you when you're in need.
When someone,
Most of the time. Clarify
Alright,
that.
making it personal.
when someone shows you compassion, it makes you feel more special and unique in your situation because a lot of people go through a lot of like of the same things. But when someone shows attention to your situation, it makes it seem like I feel where you're coming from, or they do something to help you out. It makes you feel as though like you're not the only person in that situation; that it matters to somebody else as well. So it makes you feel more like you matter or your situation matters, rather than it's just something that other people go through all the time. It makes it more personal.
Okay, with that. Okay, so I also feel like conversation and conformity allows you to get to know each other. With conversation, you'll be able to get to know more than just basic information. You get to know that person on a deeper level. Like if I was to say to you, like, who am I to you, or how do I act, how do I do things? I feel like with conversation and conformity, you'll be able to describe me without me even being able to do anything, like a stranger or something.
Like I guess you can say there's moments where I don't realize I do the things I do until someone tells me like
Hmm.
this is what you did in reality. Like you may not like moments that I don't think before I speak. It's like I look back and be like, dang, that was mean. Like I should have apologized for that, but my ego was too big. So I feel like I don't want to, but I know that I was wrong.
Yeah, like
I just don't like being told
Yeah,
that
well, that's
it was my fault.
that's also what conformity is. Conformity would allow boundaries to be known so that everybody is comfortable with the way things are. Like, for example, if someone was to do a surprise for me, let's just say a surprise party was to be thrown, and of course I'm not supposed to know, but if someone was to come to you, a boundary would be like a little one, like, I don't really like whatever I don't really like, you'd be able to describe. So I don't know, whatever would aggravate me,
So
or
like
whatever I don't like or like, you would be able to know through
okay.
conversation and conformity. Through me,
Communication.
yes. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Communication isn't just talking. It also comes a lot with listening. So when you're good at communicating, that means you pick up on a lot of details of things given out. So like she was saying with throwing a surprise party. Say like a few weeks ago, she mentioned the fact that she doesn't like red balloons because of a video she was watching. Now in that surprise party, Tanisha can remember. Oh, I remember she said she don't like red balloons, so let's not have red balloons. That's where that comes into
Yeah.
play. Like it wasn't nothing important, but she paid attention and remembered, so it became an important factor.
Yeah, even with like important things, like when it comes to arguments, me and my mom are both so petty. So we both know things there. We both know each other's boundaries and how to cross them and how just to get on each other's nerves. So I feel like knowing those boundaries also, like, even though we use them against each other, you could also use those boundaries to also keep from doing those things. Basically, creating boundaries allows you to, I don't know, understand the person deeper. Does anybody have anything else to say about communication?
Um I think when you communicate, things go a lot different than being in the same scenario without communicating. Like
Well,
communication is so big that you can miss the simplest thing and that can mess up everything.
okay, I got a question. So, Well, my question is, what are the challenges that you feel like what are challenges that you feel like you face when communicating with family?
A big
And
problem.
how do you think that you could like work on that?
A big problem with family communication is with family. Most of the time, they always say how they feel about a situation rather than asking how you feel or what got you in that situation. And I feel like if people stop focusing on so much how they feel rather than how someone else's feel, like when people talk about communication and someone not listening, it's always about what that person particularly wants and not what the other party is feeling. It's always, their personal matters and not, well, how is what I'm doing a problem for you? Rather than why is what I'm doing a problem. Asking why instead of how.
I feel like with my family, communication is, since I'm younger, I just got to do what I'm told. Like, I never have a say. I never have nothing that I can rebuttal with, or I would be wrong or disrespectful. So it's like around family, you always got to keep your mouth shut when it comes to certain things, because we all have elders. Like, I can't go to a family reunion and they have a rebuttal about me and I can't have nothing to say about it, because to them, I would be disrespectful.
You need to stay in a child's place.
To them, I would be wrong. I would be, who do you think you are? Like, you don't have a say about this, but at the end of the day, you're talking about me.
And that places a lot of problems between, like, mothers and daughters or mothers and fathers and things like that. Like, telling people that they can't have an opinion because of how old they are will really make someone feel like they're stupid or that they don't think properly because of their age, which is very false.
Like, I had situations with my mother where it's like with a mother and a daughter, it's like at a certain point, like, they're gonna grow up. But you're not ready for it. No parent is ready for their child to grow up. But when it's times where you just lying to beat around a bush, and at this point you're just lying for no reason, because it's like they want you to tell them, they want you to communicate with them about your life, but you, as a kid, like, you don't feel comfortable. So when you finally have that conversation saying, like, you know what, I'm old enough now, I can tell you this, I can tell you that, then it's like, okay, well, now I'm going to treat her like she's old enough now. Because, all right, she had the maturity to come talk to me as an adult, then we can communicate further with ease instead of making everything trouble.
Yeah, I feel like all of that stuff, well, all of the what can I call them? Obstacles, I'd say. I guess all of the obstacles that you guys were talking about, I feel like the relationships would be easier, and conversations with communication would be easier as long as the person provides conformity, conversation, and compassion. Like, yeah, when it comes to conversations with my mom, like, I know before we actually created that bond where I could come to her and talk to her about things I'm going through, not normal things you'll talk to your mom about, I guess. But when I started to open up to her, I just started to test it. I guess us having conversation actually allowed me to see the compassion and see who she is. I guess we didn't really understand each other, which is why we were always bumping heads. But as soon as we communicated and understood each other on a deeper level, it was more like we became friends and also had that mother and daughter relationship. Okay, so I just feel like with family relationships, the communication will become easier when people create a bond by doing family rituals, showing compassion, having conversations, and even conforming.